Okay, so let's talk about Destiny 2. Specifically, this will be different from nothing. Yeah, no, I'm just going to ramble about Destiny 2 because I'm inherently upset about what Bungie did to people and how they've managed to get away with it like if nothing's happened. If you hear rumbling in the background, it's because there's a thunderstorm, but it's fine. Let's talk about Destiny 2. Look, I feel like I am aware of what the base problem of the situation is, or at least why Bungie has been able to get away with everything they've gotten away with. Okay? So let's start from the beginning. I played Destiny 1 and I played Destiny 2. I've played all of them. When I finally got to Destiny 1, when it launched, it took me a while to actually get into the game because I didn't want to play it at first. But then my brother was talking a lot of good about it, and I eventually caved and bought it. And I played it with a couple buddies of mine, and it was fun. Let's just add that disclaimer up front. Destiny is fun to a degree, but we can agree on that. It is. But what I have is a problem with how Bungie's been able to get away with nickel and diming people because we let them do it. Look, this brings me back to this. Just, oh my god, I'm just so upset. Okay. It bothered me how Bungie gave us Destiny 2 in a worse condition than what we last had of Destiny 1. And I feel like no one in their right minds looks at that and says, yeah, no, let's sell them Destiny 2 like this, without knowing that it's clearly worse than Destiny 1 at the time of launch of Destiny 2. Okay? It upsets me. It upsets me because no one does that on purpose. I'm sorry, not on purpose. No one does that by accident, is what I meant to say. No one does that by accident. Okay, here we have Destiny 1. It started off rocky. It continued off rocky. The first DLC was rocky. The second DLC was rocky. And then The Taken King came out and admittedly fixed a lot of problems that Destiny 1 had. Yes, I agree with you. Yes. And then the Siva one came out, and it wasn't that good. But it doesn't matter because they did take something that was relatively new for at least the grand market of it all. Like it was a loot and shoot game where not a lot of them existed, right? So it was a lot to do at launch, and for what they did, it wasn't that bad. After they fixed it all, it wasn't bad. It was fun. And then Destiny 2 came around, and they gave us a game that was worse than Destiny 1. And they marketed it like it was this big deal. And this is where I get to the problem. This is what bothers me, because it's kind of our fault. Okay? And I say our. I'm part of it, because I paid money for Destiny 2. Admittedly, I bought it on a sale because my brother had bought it, and he bought it for my cousin. And then he's like, dude, just get it. And then we could play Destiny. And I'm like, fine, because I'm a sucker for anything co-op. Anything I can play with my buds. But it was terrible. It was so bad. Like, I was shocked and appalled at what they had given us. They gave us a terrible story and just terrible everything. How can you release something worse than your first game and say this is so much better than anything we've ever done? Like, who does that? By accident. No one does that. Let me get my thoughts together, because I just threw this out because I really want to talk about Destiny 2. I really want to just discuss my thoughts on the whole situation, and I just sat here and I started recording, and I haven't like focused. Okay, I'm sorry about the rambling. Look. The base problem with what we got with Destiny 2, I believe, is the fact that Bungie has not been reprimanded for the actions they have taken. All right, let me explain. So, Destiny 2 came out, and a lot of people gave it good reviews. A lot of people said it was better than Destiny 1. A lot of people said it was kind of better than 1. I didn't find a lot of people saying it was worse than Destiny 1. There are people, definitely. But not a lot of at least prominent voices in the whole reviewing community. Okay? So everyone bought into Destiny 2 because Bungie had promised we did it right this time. And they didn't. And a lot of people, a lot of important people, pointed fingers and said, I mean, that's not good. But they're giving it 8s. And like, sure, buy it. And everyone bought it just because they trusted that Bungie would do better. And then they announced the first DLC coming out, the Curse of Osiris, saying we're going to give you more story and we're going to fix a lot of the issues that we brought along. And just so that I could just focus on what I'm trying to say here, let me give one example that I think is very monumental to a whole, to the grand scheme of things. And that's talking about Skill Up. Now, I'm sure you've all heard of Skill Up. If you're here listening to this, you've definitely heard of Skill Up. And if you haven't, go look for Skill Up. It's a YouTube channel, and it's made by like great people, and they throw out videos that are incredibly impressive. I actually found out about them because of their Nier Automata review, because they sort of talked about what no one else talked about, and in my eyes, they saw Nier Automata for what it really was. I love that game, but I digress. So they threw their first review of Destiny 2, and they said, look, it's bad, it's got some blemishes, but it's still Destiny, and I love it, and it's great. Yes, they pointed out a handful of flaws. A lot. But he said, let's see what Bungie's going to do with, in the future. And then we'll be able to determine if them, for example, if they were going to continue to follow Destiny and see what were to occur. And then the Curse of Osiris came out. And that DLC was bad. Okay, it was bad. And then Skill Up threw a video on the review talking about how he was done with Destiny. And when I saw that, I'm like, what? This is a big deal because this person is a prominent figure in the Destiny community, right? To a degree. What's this? And I saw it. And I was touched. I was touched by what he was saying, because everything he was saying was exactly what I've been wanting to say. But this was coming from a person who had a voice in the community. So this person was voicing his opinion, and his opinion was something that a lot of people would listen to. So it was a big deal. Him saying I'm done with Destiny was a big deal. Okay? Maybe I'm making it seem like a lot. I'm not trying to like, oh my God, Scale Up. But it was a big deal. When I saw it, it was a big deal because I was happy that someone who had a voice said I'm done. And then that's it. I'm not trying to speak away from other people who did say I'm done and actually like meant it. But it's like, for example, I Hate Everything. He made a video about the review. Very good. You should check it out. And he said, I'm done. And he didn't cover any of the DLC. And I'm sure he's definitely done. And I hate everything for that immensely. But, he's a movie critic channel more than a gaming channel. So I'm not saying his voice is lesser. I'm just saying in regards to the community. I'm sure a lot more people who play Destiny have heard of Scale Up, I guess. Then I hate everything. Okay, I'm just digressing completely. Point is, when he said I'm done, I'm like, okay, great, this is amazing. Tremendous. And then the Warmind DLC came out and he threw a review. And it wasn't a bad review. And he said, I'm interested to see what they're going to do next. And I'm sure for this Forsaken DLC, I mean, I wouldn't know, I shouldn't assume anything. But I'm sure he'll be throwing something on the Forsaken because a lot of people follow him for his Destiny content. Or to hear his thoughts on it. Because again, prominent figure in the gaming community. So when he threw the Warmind DLC review, I was bummed out. Because he said he was done with it. And then yes, he had paid the season pass, so if he might as well was going to play it because he paid money for it, he could just throw a review about it. But that's where I want to make my point. That's the problem with the Destiny community, in my opinion, and that's why Bungie can get away with what they can get away with. Because a lot of people say, I'm done, and then go back to it. We're not showing them any lesson. We're not teaching Bungie anything. We're saying that we're all talk. You understand? And I'm not trying to insult anyone in the Destiny community or Scale Up or anyone ever, anything. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just taking actions, pointing out at those actions and saying, as a whole, I feel like that's a problem. Here's why, X, Y, Z. That's what I'm here to talk about. I'm just expressing my thoughts on it because it just bothers me as a gamer that we let people like that, Bungie, get away with giving us content that's not up to other standards or the basic standards just because, one, they're Bungie, and two, eventually it'll be fine. Like, doesn't matter. Like, they're just words. And they shouldn't just be words. We've already proven, the gaming community has already proven that they do have a voice that can make a huge difference, astronomical differences. We've seen the whole Battlefront 2 debacle and how that made a difference, period. A couple voices here and there just turn into more voices, and it made a difference. There's proof of that. I find it odd that for Battlefront 2, we were able to achieve this, or they were able to achieve this. I'm not saying I'm not part of the community. It's just I never played Battlefront 2, so it's not like whatever. But anyway, it just I'm not trying to be a salty boy here and like, oh, I just want that to happen to Bungie, but it's a bummer. It's a bummer that they can get away with what they can get away with nothing but a slap in the wrist. But then, okay, whatever. So the reason why I sat down and started talking about this now is because shortly the Destiny 2 Forsaken expansion is going to release. And I saw a tweet that the Bungie was giving Destiny 2 for free for this month of September on PS Plus. And a lot of people were like, wow, that's great marketing. Like, okay, kudos to you, Bungie. You're giving us that game free. I mean, we're paying $40 for the Forsaken DLC, and let's face it, it's just like when they released The Taken King. When they released Destiny The Taken King, who would ever buy the original Destiny 1? Like, who would go out and say, hey, I'd like to purchase Destiny 1 base game, please? When you could just buy the Taken King for the same price with all the content. So it's less marketing in my eyes and more duh. Because who's going to buy Destiny 2 when they have the Destiny 2 Forsaken, which costs $40? What does the base game of Destiny 2 cost? I haven't checked. I haven't researched. I don't have my phone on me. But I'm pretty sure it's still upwards to 20, 25, maybe 30 still. Hell, maybe it's just $40. But then Destiny 2 Forsaken will cost $40 with everything. So why wouldn't you buy that? Why would anyone who's interested in playing Destiny not buy that? So they're not giving us like a service for selling us Destiny 2 for free. The expansion still costs $40. It's not a sale. It's a nothing. It's a, hey, play the base game, which isn't all that good on its own, right? Because this is without any of the DLC, and it's just the base game for free. And then pay money for the good content. I don't understand why people are saying, wow, this is good, or wow, this is good marketing, or wow, at least, no. Just no. Oh my God. This is just, I'm sorry. It's just a bunch of rambling, and I'm not getting anywhere, but I kind of already made my point. But I just feel like I haven't, but I did. We can't let Bungie get away with things like this. Now it's already, look, I feel like it's already too late because they already are going to launch the Forsaken. And it's probably going to be good. I'm not going to say otherwise. I'm not going to buy it because I bought the base game on a sale, but I bought it and I bought the season pass. I've already paid enough money to get good content and I haven't. Why would I need to pay $40? When they launched, when they announced the Forsaken DLC, I saw their stream just because I was looking to hear how much it was going to cost. Because a tiny part of me thought, you know, after everything they've done, maybe it's going to be free. Maybe this time around, they'll be like, okay, look, we threw Destiny 2. It was bad. We threw Curse of Osiris. It was bad. We threw Warmind. It was better, but it was also bad. So let's make amends. Let's kind of stop burning bridges and start making them. Forsaken's going to be free because we kind of dropped the ball on multiple occasions. And if that was the case, I would have accepted that with open arms and been like, you know, let's play Forsaken. I got nothing to lose. But there was like, it's $40. Also, do you see this other season pass for other things that we're selling already? That's additional money though that you should pay us. I'm not saying making games is cheap. I'm not saying that they're not putting in effort to what they do with Destiny. That's not what I'm trying to say. Making games is not cheap, and it's time consuming, and it requires a lot of manpower, and yeah, it's tough. But we live in a world where not only do we get other gaming experiences for the same price that are better, but there is fairness in the industry. And just because the unfairness kind of trumps the fairness doesn't mean that that should be the norm, or that should stay the norm at least. It doesn't. It just doesn't. I feel that maybe there's still an opportunity, but I highly doubt it because the Forsaken's going to come out and people have already paid money for that. We've already showed Bungie, the Destiny community has already showed Bungie that they are willing to pay into whatever they have to offer as long as they get more game. And as I said in the beginning, I'm not going to deny that the game's not fun. It's repetitive. Oh my God. In Destiny 2, just so I could sit down and talk about it at some point, because I like doing this. I like playing the whole thing before I have any voice to talk about it. Because if I sat down and played a game for 2 hours and then sat down and said how that game is terrible, but I didn't beat it. Like, I'm not saying my word means less. I'm just saying that's how I feel on my own words, like for myself. Because I'm sure you people have played games where you can sit down and play it for 2 minutes and know that it's bad. But the way I work, at least, I'm going to sit down and play a game and then I feel like I have the power to judge it or voice my opinion on it. And when it comes to Destiny 2, I sat down, I played the whole campaign, I beat all the missions, and when Curse of Osiris came out, I went back in and I played everything. I got all the stupid little cube dice thing, I got all the secret things, everything. And then Warmind came out and the exact same thing. I did everything in the DLC. I can safely say that Bungie gave us a product that is bad, and the fact that they are charging people $40 additional to maybe make it good is exactly what they did with Destiny 1. What kind of world do we live in where we let that happen? Battlefront 1 gave us a bad game, and then Battlefront 2 wanted to give us a worse game, and people did something about it. We live in a world where that can happen. And I go back to the example, not just because it's the only example, because there are others. But that one was astronomical in the point that it was trying to make. It achieved it tremendously. So I point that out and say, yeah, no, let's follow that. Because even though throughout history that has happened before, there are moments in history that are the ones we point out and say, wow, that. Let's do that. Let's keep doing that. That's just history. That's just how humans work. So, I don't know. I just wanted to sit down and talk about how I feel that the base problem with Bungie getting away with the things they've gotten away with is because us as players, we let them get away with it. We need to put our foot down. Hopefully when the Forsaken DLC comes out, it makes good Destiny 2. It makes Destiny 2 good. And it fixes a lot of problems. And everyone loves it. And it's totally worth your time. And that's great. I am not going to play it unless in the future it's either free. That's it. No. Because I feel like I've paid enough money to get a game I would like, or at least get a game that is good, right? Not like I would like it, because I wouldn't lie if I'm saying I like how Destiny 2 feels. It feels good. But it's just not good enough for me. And again, I'm just the one person. And a lot of other people have already voiced this opinion and said, I'm done with Destiny, and meant it and never went back to Destiny, and that's great. That's great. But this is, I guess, just me putting my foot down.
So there was a power outage due to the thunderstorm,
I think the light
and
left.
that's why I will be ending the
pretty sure the light
video
left.
there.
Hey, thank you very much for listening. Thank you for your time. I've been One Lung Guy. Subscribe if you want to. Follow me on Twitter at One Lung Guy. And hopefully next time I have light. Electricity. Doesn't matter. Or also, hopefully I threw this out before I made the video before the launch of Forsaken. Because if not, I talked about how it's going to come out. And it already came out. So, wish me luck, I guess. Okay. Have a good one, guys.
But seeing as that happened, might as well take the opportunity and make a Destiny joke. Please purchase the expansion in order to see what happens next in the video.